Hi, this is the Afterlife discussion. I am making this video to respond to a question someone sent me in the comment section of my last video. I really don't have time today or tomorrow or even Sunday to do any other vocal videos, but I will be bringing you several visual videos that's pertaining to the reincarnation trick and all those connecting factors that I really think you all should see. So that should be coming later on this PM and tomorrow as well. But in this video, I'm going to be responding to a question that someone sent in the comment section of my last video. And the question was, who is the God of Islam, Enki or Enlil? And I responded to them that the answer to that is Marduk. And then they wrote a response question, a follow-up question, which is, but Marduk teaches Muslims to fight by his light, and lights demolish demons. Light is the positive weapon. What do you think? I just need to understand from you. Well, okay, so let me explain this. The Islam religion, the Muslim religion, Scientology, Seventh-day Adventists, Christianity, and Amish people, because they kind of go hand in hand with who they serve, Mormonism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Judaism, all of those religions, they are directly connected to Marduk. They come from Marduk. And the reason why is because every time someone practices those religions, Marduk gets power from that. He gets fed from that. This is why when Christians say amen, they are giving homage to Marduk, because if you break down the word amen, you come with Amen Ra. Amen. Amen. So you're saying amen, you're saying the first part of one of Marduk's many names, Amen. Amen Ra. So Marduk created all of these religions, and he created them so he can get fed, so he can get power, and to keep people enslaved onto this prison planet again and again and again, so that they will never know who they truly are, and so that they will never escape from this prison planet after death. Marduk is not a good person. Marduk is 100% plus some evil. Enki is evil too, but Marduk is worse. Marduk hates all humans. As far as Marduk teaching Muslims to fight, well, I guess he would teach them to fight, because when you fight someone, what you are doing is you are releasing loose energy, of which he and his archons and his father Enki, they feed off of. Fighting is violence. This is why you have so many people today who are so aggressive, and they are fighting each other, because to carry out the act of physically fighting or even verbally fighting, you are releasing loose energy. So if Marduk taught Muslims to fight, it's so that when these Muslims do fight, either verbally / vocally or physically, Marduk and his father and their archons can get fed off of the loose energy that comes from that. His light is not the real light. It is the artificial light. His light is the light that everyone sees when they go through the physical death and they cross over into the afterlife. They see that artificial light. That artificial light takes them to, believe it or not, it takes them to, the moon, where they will undergo horrendous dictatorship and a lot of times torture before they are re-incarcerated right back down here again. So Marduk teaching Muslims to fight by his light, all of that is a part of the trickery that involves him, his father, and his archons feeding off of the Muslims who are fighting by his light. And his light does not demolish demons, because the very demons that Muslims believe are being demolished are the very demons that are connected to Marduk. Those are called archons. Christians call them demons. Spiritual people, such as myself and others, we call them archons because that's the correct name. They're not demons, but Christians want to use the term demons, okay. But the correct term is archons. But when Christians say demons, it means the same thing as what we're calling archons. And archons come from Enki, who is Marduk's father, and Marduk. And the archons cannot do anything without Marduk and Enki's approval. So the fact that Marduk teaches Muslims to fight by his light, and his light demolishes demons, no. His light will never demolish the very ones who are doing his bidding. The archons are doing his bidding. Every time you get these intrusive thoughts, they come from the archons. And the archons are doing that because they are doing Marduk's and Enki's bidding. Every time you get angry, you get depressed, you get sad, you get violent, you become arrogant, you become egotistical. All of that. Lust. And when I say lust, I'm not talking about the type of lust of, my wife just got home, or my girlfriend just got home and I love to this, that, and the third with her. No, I'm talking about pornography lust. Every time you practice any of that, that is, let me put it like this. Every time you practice any of that or act any of that out, it's because the archons have put it into your mind to practice those things or act those things out. And why are the archons doing that? Because the archons are doing the bidding of Marduk and Enki. And as long as they're doing the bidding of Marduk and Enki, why would Marduk want to demolish them? So no, Marduk is not demolishing any of his demons, as Christians call them. We call them archons. He's not demolishing them at all. Light is the positive weapon, as you say. Yes, the real light. The light that comes from the KHAA, the real universe light. Yes, that is the positive weapon. Marduk's light is the artificial weapon. Many people have said they have crossed over into the afterlife and they saw the bright light. They followed the bright light, and the bright light took them to, the holding area, which is the moon, where they went through torture and heavy dictatorship before they were reincarcerated right back down here again. So I say all that to say that that is the artificial light. The real light, if you follow a real light anywhere, it's not going to take you to a place where you will be held until you are reincarcerated back down here. More so than likely, if you follow any real light in the afterlife, I'm talking about the real light, it will take you to the KHAA. However, it is more better for you to head for the void, because that's what everyone has said. When you see the artificial light, the artificial tunnel of light, with the guardian angels, spirit guides, ascended masters in that tunnel of light, or the family members, or if you don't even see the light and you see those beings, the ascended masters, the spirit guides, the family members, you are to turn away from that artificial light and head for the void, which is the darkness. That's what you are to do. You're supposed to head for the darkness, and you go all the way through the layers of the darkness until you see the glowing light spider web, which will be the KHAA, the real universe. And the KHAA, the real universe, it will be glowing with light like a spider web. But the light that glows off of that spider web, which is the real universe, that will be the real light, because the real universe, that's the true universe. That's the real realm where we all came from. Any light that comes from Marduk or Enki is artificial. It's negative. It's a fake, fictitious light to get you to come with them, to get you to do what they want you to do. So we have to understand this. As much as we want to believe that Marduk is a good guy, he's not. And I mean, no one would wish to have Marduk and Enki as good guys so that this prison planet can be done with and we can all live in harmony. But that's never going to happen. Marduk and Enki are evil. And there's nothing that's going to change them from being evil. If they were going to change, they would have changed years and centuries ago. They didn't just start being evil. They have been evil for centuries. They have been malevolent for centuries, 400 and 500 years, and that's never going to change. Marduk will forever be this way unless some way, somehow, he gets ended, and so does his father and any other Anunnaki beings who are malevolent with him. Otherwise, they are going to forever be evil. And so we have to understand this. It's not like when you get around them, you can reason, well, let me try to bargain with them. You can't bargain with people who are psychopathically evil. That's the equivalent of saying, I'm going to go to to a psychiatric hospital, and then you go to the psychiatric hospital, and the patients there try to attack you or are threatening to attack you, and you say, well, let me try to reason with them to get them from attacking me. You can't reason with them because they're insane. You can't do it because they are insane. And so that's how it is with Enki and Marduk. You can't, it's not like when you finally do get in front of them, and you know, more than likely when you cross over to the afterlife, you will get in front of them. They may not come in their true form. They may come disguised as a god or as a spirit guide or an ascended master, but you'll know when you see those beings there, if that ascended master or masters, that spirit guide or guides, or that god or gods, you'll know, oh, that's Enki and Marduk in disguise. And so it's not like when you see them, you can try to say, hey, look, let's try to come to a kind of an agreement. Let's negotiate this thing. And they're going to say, all right, well, let me see. What do you want to negotiate, Claire? No. It's either you go their way or that's it. Either you go their way or they'll try to put it in your mind that you're screwed, but you're not screwed. You can either go their way or go your way, and your way is the right way, which is getting as far away from them as possible and turning away from everything that is connected to them and heading for the KHAA. So you cannot bargain with Enki and Marduk. They are psychopathically, Luciferianly insane. And I know for a lot of people, there are videos on there that are making Marduk's okay. Oh, Marduk, he loves us because, after all, Marduk does not. Marduk hates all humans. And I don't even know why he hates, but then I do know why. He's just evil. That's as simple as that. Marduk is just evil. There's really no real reason why he hates all humans except for the fact that he feels we have power just like he does, and he doesn't like it because he wants to be the only one with power, and because we refuse to treat him as a god that we should worship and serve, he wants to do away with us. And Enki is just, Enki is just a nutcase. Enki is like Leatherface off of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He's just a nut. And so we have to understand this. Now, if you ask Muslims about this, they will say, oh, Marduk is the greatest. He's the greatest, just like Allah. They'll say all of that because Muslims who are still practicing the Muslim faith, they are totally disillusioned. But you know what? They're going to get a wake-up call when they cross over. And they're going to be thinking they're going to see Allah or going to see Marduk, and then they're going to get the wake-up call, because every person practicing every religion on earth, they are disillusioned. They are disillusioned. And I will say this, the people who knew this were people like the Native Americans, but more so the blacks and the Irish people. We knew this because of the fact that we had our own customs and our own beliefs, and our own customs and beliefs were very much tied into the truth about the real universe and spirituality. But then you had the Europeans, and they came over and they gave us their Christianity. And when they did that, that caused us to push out the beliefs that were very much tied to spirituality and the real universe, and to pick up the beliefs that were tied to Enki and Marduk. And this is why I always encourage people, get back to spirituality that was around before the Bible and Christianity was enforced upon people. People think let me just say this. The Irish, they have these holidays, Beltane Festival and all these other festivals, and you have Christians saying, oh, they're evil, oh, they're paganistic. No, it's because the elite and Enki and Marduk, they have taken the beliefs of the Irish and they've turned it around to make it evil. Just like they took the beliefs of blacks and Africans, which was voodoo and the ancestors and the Gullah Geechee tribe. They took all of that and they turned it around to, oh, it's evil, it's satanic. It's not. Those are beliefs that keep us connected to the real universe. And it's not just for black people. It's not just for Irish people. It's not just for Native Americans. It's for all people, because those beliefs tie us to the real universe. And this is what we need to get back to. There are a lot of principles in Wicca that are tied to keeping you connected to the real universe. There are a lot of principles in the Native American beliefs that keep you connected to the real universe. There are a lot of principles in voodoo that keeps you connected to the real universe. And see, but we don't know this because for so many years and centuries we've learned about Christianity and Mormonism and the Amish beliefs and Scientology and Seventh-day Adventists and all of these beliefs that have kept us tied into the ideology of being locked into a slave, as locked into this world as a slave. I'll put it like that. And so this is what we need to get back to. We need to get back to our spirituality roots, and we all have them. We just have to drop these earthly religions, the Muslim religion included, and get into the spiritual that keeps us connected as Isbies to the real universe. So this is what I wanted to say. Any Muslim who is thinking that Marduk is a good guy and he is helping them to fight the light, yeah, he's helping you to fight, all right. He's helping you to fight all the way until you cross over to the afterlife and you go back to this cycle again. That's what he's doing. This is why I highly discourage people to from following the Muslim, and not only the Muslim religion, but any religion. As I stated, any religion, I encourage people to get far away from it. Religion is the most dangerous thing that an Isbi can practice because it ensures your eternal relooping. So, I hope I have answered your question on that about Marduk. This is what I wanted to say. And one last thing before I end this video. These are things people can research for themselves. If you get online, and I'm not saying that you haven't, I'm just saying, if people were to get online and start researching into how all these religions are lies, then they would see all of these religions are made up from Marduk's obsession of wanting to be worshipped, wanting to be exalted. That's all that they came from. Even Satanism, because of course people who practice Satanism, they love Satan. And who is Satan? Marduk. Okay, and so all of these and Luciferianism, that's them practicing the worship of Satan's father, Marduk's father, Enki. All of these religions are tied back to Marduk specifically, but also Enki. And you can learn this if you get into looking up online about how these religions deceive and how they are totally wrong for someone who's trying to escape the reincarnation trick after death. And listen to, go and search YouTube and find the ones that are truly speaking facts, truth, and knowledge. There are some YouTubers out there who are really speaking facts, truth, and knowledge. You just have to find them. And when you find them, it's like you're finding a gold mine almost, because you're hearing truth. And so this is what, I wanted to say on that question. Lastly, people, as I've stated in the last video, I will say again, we do not have long, because again, there have been more sightings, more reports of people hearing from the Anunnaki here and the Anunnaki there. People are seeing, there were times when people were seeing UFO sightings, but now it is just off the charts. And they're seeing UFO sightings that people have never seen before. All of this is for a reason. They just came out and said earlier this week that the Earth is spinning faster, which means the hours will go by faster. This simulation is breaking down. and the new simulation is soon, very soon, to come in. So for this new simulation to come in, the old one, has to be broken down and destroyed. So I encourage people to keep abreast of the news that is coming out about UFO sightings and these mysterious happenings that are happening all across the world. Keep abreast of the news that's coming out about Earth and its axis and NASA, because all of these things, believe it or not, they are tied to the returning of the Anunnaki. If you don't know where to look up online the newest news, the latest news about the Anunnaki, the latest news about Earth and spinning faster. Search these things, because this is how you'll find out where we are in terms of the timeline of the Anunnaki returning. And once again, if you have not made a TikTok account yet, you should, and you should do it soon, because there are reports that in March TikTok will be no more. And of course, they're taking TikTok away because TikTok is telling too much truth. Make a TikTok account, because a lot of the news that you will hear about the Anunnaki and their return, and about a lot of things connected to the Anunnaki, you're not going to hear it in the mainstream media or on the mainstream media websites. But you will find it on TikTok, because you have whistleblowers on TikTok. You have researchers who are much more researched than I am about UFOs and the Anunnaki, who are really legit. They're on TikTok. So do this. This is how you find out what to know about Enki, about Marduk, about the Anunnaki. Wes Penray just published a new book. Go on Amazon, look up Wes Penray or Wes Penray's new book. Read his book. He has some excellent new information about all of this. This is how you have to stay abreast. I'm going to say this before I end this video. It's just like if you are a teacher. If you are, and I'm going to say specifically a child care teacher, if you're a child care teacher, every year, 2 years, maybe 3 years at the most, you have to go and you have to keep your credentials updated, which means you have to keep going to workshops, keep going to trainings, to keep yourself abreast of the new teaching technologies, and to make sure that your credentials and everything are up to par. This is how you have to be when it comes to researching as an ISB about the reincarnation trick. You have to keep reading and researching and learning new things every couple of months, weeks. And it really shouldn't be years, but for some years, but it shouldn't be years, it should be weeks or months. You have to keep learning, keep trying to search, keep searching for new things that are out there. And this is how you keep abreast of everything, so that when it is time for you to take that step over to the afterlife, you have everything you need to know. So this is what I wanted to say. Visual videos will come, if not this PM, then tomorrow, definitely tomorrow, on this channel. YouTube will only give you notification of one video I upload, so you might want to check periodically throughout the day, because there will be multiple videos that I will be uploading tomorrow. So check periodically throughout the day, so you will be able to see those extra videos that I will be uploading throughout the day on tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your PM. Enjoy your Saturday tomorrow and your Sunday as well. And I will see you next week.